me a fortune, man. Trying to stop me. Y'all can't stop me. This is forever. Forever, man. I mean that.
Have an all-white rank. Couldn't hit if
Hello again, everybody. It is the coach. You're tuned in to Madden 19 on EA Sports. We are moments away from what should be an excellent matchup between the Minnesota Vikings and the Denver Broncos. I'll have scores around the league for you at the half, but it's time for a little football. So we'll hand it over to our broadcast team, Brandon Godden and Charles Davis.
Coach, we find ourselves at the foot of the Rockies, Denver, Colorado, for this edition of the NFL on EA Sports. The scene a few moments ago, here it is. It's unlike any other in sport as both teams made their way out of the tunnel. These folks are fired up as their guys are ready to do battle between the Minnesota Vikings and the Denver Broncos. And hello again, everyone. Brandon Gaudin alongside Charles Davis. And, Charles, we look at this Bronco team. Now, losers their last time out, so they'll look to make amends here.
And one of the best ways you can do that is to be at home, and they are. They're going to try and ride that home crowd and that wave of emotion to a victory in this one.
Meanwhile, for our visitors, the Vikings, they come off a disappointment last time out that put an end to their modest 3-game win streak. Returning it, Carlos Henderson. And he'll be out of bounds here just past the 20-yard line. So here are the Broncos now for their opening drive. They'll be led out by their veteran quarterback out of North Carolina State. It's Phillip Rivers.
You talk about the pause that refreshes. I think it's come at a perfect time of the year for them, hasn't it? You know, the season is starting to wind down, got a little bit of a break. But how about the guy calling the signals? He's got to be excited about that because now he didn't just get a game plan for 1 week. He was able to work on it for 2 weeks. I can't wait to see if they have anything special in store for him today.
They'll run it now out of the gun. And he's got it past the 30 before he's hit and dropped. The drive starting with a first down, 11 yards on that pickup.
And that's the big fella's MO right there. Running through tackles, keeping the sticks moving forward. This defense, if you don't bring 11 guys to the ball to try and get him on the ground, he's going to keep making runs like that. I feel the press box shaking every time he touches the rock.
So they'll come up 1st and 10 now from the 33.
Set, round 80. Set.
Now a play fake here on first down. The Vikings after him, and they get there for the sack. Linval Joseph in there to drop him for his 5th sack of the year.
2 plays so far, a run and a pass attempt, and both have gone backwards.
Probably not how they drew that up.
Not at all.
Looking for a better play coming up on 3rd.
Check 390. 390.
They'll run it now out of the gun. And not much, maybe a yard up to the 29.
Partner, we know today's NFL is really built around the guy throwing the football. But these short runs, they still pay dividends because they can take their toll on a defense and they can add up as the game goes along. You control the clock, you control the ball, and that way you often control the game.
And this is going to be incomplete. You can tell they were hoping for a flag there offensively. Several on the sideline motioning, hey, why not a penalty? Why not a penalty? What did you see?
Yeah, I think you've got to let them play, and the officials are instructed. If there's contact coming from both sides, no flag. Let them fight it out.
And forces 4th down. The Vikings offense now, they get ready to head back on the field. And, Charles, if the season ended today, and it's not going to, we still have December left.
More football.
We're only in November. But they would be a wild card team. And that's great. They'd be in the playoffs, but you know they're trying to bump up to be one of those division leaders.
That guarantees you at least one home game in the playoffs, and that's what you're really seeking. But there also isn't much margin for error for this team, right? Because right where they're sitting, a 2-game losing streak could have them out of the playoffs, so they've got to make sure they continue to keep the momentum going.
Absolutely. There's some sharks smelling blood in the water behind them. He's got it complete to Stephon Diggs. And they work this out past the 25. That one goes for 24 yards.
They've got good playmakers on the offensive side of the ball. I don't know what happened last week to really hurt their performance and hold down their production, but I would dare say that this week in practice, there's a lot of talk about how they're going to increase their proficiency.
Yeah, it was a good start getting the playmakers involved. You mentioned that to me pregame. That's what they did there.
Yeah, I think a lot of people think the coaching staff really gets on them, and that's how they motivate them. Most of these...
That's caught inside the 20. Touchdown, Vikings. Stephon Diggs with touchdown number 7 on the year. And the Vikings have taken a first-quarter lead. And when a Hail Mary is completed for a touchdown pass like that, I think any defensive coordinator just puts their face right into their hands.
I don't think there's any doubt about it, and I don't have stats in front of me. I don't have the empirical numbers that say that in recent years the Hail Mary pass has been completed more than it has been, but it feels that way, doesn't it? And I know the defenses are spending more time on it. I think the biggest mistake they make is that they play everything from behind the receiver. I think they've got to start getting people in front as well to try and knock the ball away.
Extra point by Carlson, up and good. And it's now a 7-0 game. The long touchdown pass gets them 6 on a very, very tidy 2-play drive that time. Carlson now to kick this one away. On the return is Henderson. And he'll take it out past the 25 to the 26-yard line. And Denver getting set to take the field. And to be frank, they're just in a tough spot. It's only November, already eliminated from playoff contention. I know their fan base doesn't want to hear that, but that's the case. What are they fighting for now going forward?
You know exactly what they're fighting for. Is that word that some people don't want to hear, but it's pride.
Draft. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I was going to go draft, but pride's better, right?
You know something? You're right, because that's part of it, but that's two different mindsets. That's front office mindset, draft position, where are we going to be and what do we need to get? And then the players and the coaching staff right now, pride. Can they win some games and feel better about themselves despite the fact they have no shot at the playoffs?
So 2nd in inches after that first down completion went just shy of the marker.
Ready. Delta!
And they'll go on the ground. Only a gain of a yard there, but it indeed gets them a new set of downs.
I know what you're thinking out there. I know a lot of you are thinking, take a shot downfield. It's a great spot for it. I'd say maybe later in the game, definitely in the second half. But right now, I think they were just trying to get some momentum built. Get a first down, pick it up, and keep moving.
So from the 36 now, 1st and 10.
Ready. 380.
Running game working. They'll stick with it on first down. And he puts his head down and gets up to the 42 for a gain of about 6.
A quick burst there, and he nicely bit off a pretty decent gain.
Now a second down throw for Rivers. He throws and he hits the slant route to Thomas. And he'll be brought down just shy of midfield at the 49-yard line. First catch there for Thomas. It's a first down.
This has to go down as one of the simpler routes in the playbook, but oh so effective. Nice completion there. Keeps the sticks moving.
On 1st and 10, Rivers. And on the catch right side, this is Sanders. And oh, so close as he takes it all the way to the 2-yard line. A big play there on the catch and run. 49 yards.
There will always be a place for methodically marching the ball downfield. But when you can pick it up in big chunks and strike like that, have explosive plays, that's often the difference in winning and losing. Those types of plays that can knock a defense off balance, that'll drive a team towards a victory.
Throwing on first down, but this one winds up to be incomplete.
And that's one he's got to be happy to have back. There wasn't a hole open in the zone.
You'd have to think on early downs like that first down there, need to be a little bit more careful.
Yeah, fortunately for him, got a couple more downs to play with.
2nd and goal, and they will try again from the 2-yard line. They send Thomas out to the right by himself. Now Rivers. Pressure coming from the Vikings, and they get there and bring him down.
When you're this close to the goal line, you got to expect pressure from the defense, so the ball's got to come out fast. Got to get out of his hands quicker.
And back at the 8 now. 3rd and goal.
Set! 380!
From the gun, Rivers. A hit as he throws there, incomplete.
They're bringing a lot of pressure here already in the first quarter. Already sacked him once. Now they get in there and knock another one away. You think maybe that Tucker rule being gone makes defenses a lot bolder?
Yes, indeed. That time, lucky that the arm was going forward. Incomplete pass. So on 4th down, on comes Brandon McManus and the field goal unit for the Broncos. From the right hash here, should be an easy one. And McManus able to put it through. And they are on the board, but still trailing. It's 7-3. That drive took him inside the 10. Good job defensively to hold him to 3.
Yeah, I like how you did that. Give a little tip of the cap to the stop troops there because they didn't give up a touchdown in that situation, right? Made them kick the field goal. And, yeah, points went against them, but that feels a whole lot better running off the field.
Here's Dante Pettis on the return. And he'll get it up to about the 26-yard line just across the 25. Now the Vikings offense works their way back onto the field. And they're hoping to redo their efforts in the last drive when they got into the end zone.
And just think of what it's like now on the sideline. Because when you score a touchdown, you have to go over and look at the tablet and see what you did on the last drive. When you scored points, it's a whole lot better view than when you're trying to figure out how to fix things there.
He couldn't quite hold it. Got hit. Ball pops out. Incomplete.
That's very well timed there defensively because it's not a bad throw, but the collision came at the exact time he was reaching to bring in the football. Really, really well done.
Decent offense, just better defense. I think you're right. Once again, they'll come up on the 26-yard line, 2nd and 10. Throwing again on 2nd and 10. Fowler. And he takes a shot on the release as this will be incomplete.
I think he had to unload that one before he wanted alluded to, he was right up in his grill. I think he was a dentist there without a license, don't you?
Just not enough time for the play to develop. Just lucky it wasn't a fumble, really.
Detroit!
To throw on third down. Fowler. And he's able to find Diggs. And they nearly get this all the way to midfield. Mark him down at the 49. 23 yards on the play. On that catch, he's already eclipsed 100 yards here in the first quarter. Charles, he's on pace for over 400.
And playing with great confidence, isn't he? I think he probably had it coming into the game, and now that he's really come out of the gate this strongly, I'd like to be in the huddle with him right now. You know he's demanding the football. And guess what? I'd throw it to him. He's having a fantastic game, and they haven't defended him yet.
A solid run on first down. Gain of 7 leaves him with a 2nd and 3.
A nice run here early on. It doesn't take a great play caller to realize you want to establish a guy of his caliber with runs like this early because they'll pay dividends as the game progresses.
On 2nd down, Cook. And he'll go down shy of the 40 at the 41. Just 4 yards on the pickup, but that's good enough to extend the drive.
So many teams want to throw the ball in this situation nowadays, but I love watching a team that has enough confidence to go ahead and run the football in that situation. That's almost a tendency breaker.
First down, here's the run with Cook. And this time not quite to the 30. It'll be down at the 31-yard line. That one good for 10 yards. And that'll bring up a 2nd and just about a few inches here.
Now, that was an excellent run. And when you see that happen, that's when you're seeing guys doing their job and then some people doing a little bit more. Offensive linemen and tight ends, they're expected to block. But the wide receivers, all they want to do is catch passes. So when they block on a big-time running play and create extra space, you've got to hit the jackpot there.
And he'll be hit as he releases it, and that'll fall incomplete. There's no denying they want to get him involved. That's already the 5th time that they've looked his way in this first quarter.
So that tells me defensively that they want to insist on going in that direction. Make sure you've got your best people in the area to try and take that away.
They'll run it. Here's Cook. And he'll lose yardage. Brought down at the 32. A loss of a yard, and it brings up 4th.
It's a tough one right there. He ran right into the teeth of the blitz as the linebacker was freed up in order to stuff that one for a loss. I think quarterbacks got to see that.
Back now with Charles Davis. I'm Brandon Gaudin. Second quarter begins with the Vikings holding the football. And they've got a decision to make here on 4th down and 2. And Carlson missed it. Hold it to the left. And this score will stay right where it is. So an empty possession there. What do you think went wrong, Charles?
Well, it looked like maybe the plant leg might have given way just a little. And when that happens, guys have a tendency to pull through the ball to compensate. And in doing so, sent this one off target.
After the missed kick, they're in really good position. They'll begin this drive at the 39 now.
Ready.
Rivers on first down. Pass incomplete. Seems like this defense, especially the secondary, has really been contesting about every throw in this first half.
Remind me of a good half-court defensive basketball team. Every time a pass is thrown, they're right there in good defensive position, able to affect the play.
So line of scrimmage, still the 39 on 2nd and 10. Throwing again, Rivers on 2nd and 10. And that's off the mark, incomplete.
The effort's always going to be there. Everyone's always going to try and make a catch, but underthrown balls, I think, are the toughest ones to come back and get because usually your momentum's going in the opposite direction when you're trying to stop, break, and come back and get it.
So back-to-back incompletions, and that has them staring at a 3rd and 10. From the shotgun, it's Rivers. He's got the first down and more past midfield, and he takes it across the 50 to the 46-yard line. Denver has the first down, the play going for 15 yards.
Nice catch right there. Brings to mind the sentence, when in doubt, find your veterans.
I used to laugh back in the day when they would call guys like him crafty veterans. You get up in your 30s, you're still playing receiver, but you're around that long at that position, you're doing something right.
Just remember this. When he was young, he thought the crafty veteran was simply a guy who couldn't run anymore. Now he understands a little bit better. Early down stuff's to put this offense in a precarious position. We know that securing the point of attack, especially against the big-bodied guys in the middle of this D, has got to be priority one.
They'll run it now out of the gun. And that play going absolutely nowhere as he's belted before he could get out of the backfield. They'll wind up losing 3. And now it's 3rd down.
Partner, you mind if I take off this headset and put on a coaching headset?
You want to get this running game going?
I want to get this running game going. I'm going down there and saying, gentlemen, we have got to run the football. We've got to get it going right now.
Well, to this point in the second quarter, it has been a struggle. Now a 3rd down throw, but it misses the target, incomplete.
Nothing open downfield, and he had to get that one out in a hurry because he just knew he was about to take a big shot. Probably couldn't get his legs into the throw. Became an all-arm throw trying to check it down to his running back. Incomplete.
And the Vikings now heading onto the field. And they had compiled a pretty long drive last time. Unfortunately, though, it ended with no points after the missed field goal.
And that can hurt the psyche of a team because as they drove downfield, you know you're never supposed to count points in your mind until they go up on the board. But let's face it, we've been there. We've seen teams before. They were counting on those points. They didn't get them. Can they come back now, start over again, and grind it out?
They'll run it now out of the gun. And he's able to take this one up to the 35-yard line. A gain of 4 that time as the drive continues.
2nd and 1, and people want to run the football. This is where every back in the league is supposed to do exactly what we just saw there. Pick up the 1st down.
Ball up to the 35 now as they come up on 1st and 10. They go play action here on 1st down. And this is going to be incomplete.
I think he's a little trigger happy right there, and it turned into an ill-advised throw into their zone.
Well, we know he has confidence. He'll throw it any place, anytime, anywhere. That time it fell incomplete. Here's 2nd and 10 now from the 35.
Gone! All right, here we go. Blue landed!
Throwing again. Fowler. The left side caught by Diggs. And he'll have it past midfield almost to the 40 before being taken down. That one goes for 24 yards.
Watch him now, Barney.
So in the second quarter, he's already up over 100 yards receiving now.
And isn't 100 the magic number for a really good game for a receiver? So he got a chance to really shatter that and have a profound effect on this game.
Give him 9 there on the 1st down completion.
But that's what you're looking for when you want to throw the ball downfield. You want one of those guys who can play out on the perimeter, can play out wide, who can not only get open, but when they're covered, can uncover themselves downfield and create catches.
They'll run it now out of the gun. And he'll go down at the 28. It's a gain of 4 there, and it gives him a new set of downs.
2nd and 1 is often an invitation to take the big shot downfield. I bet the offensive lineman said, are you kidding? We just get on our backs, and let's go get the 1st down. They love being physical.
On 1st down, Fowler. And Diggs has it. And he'll be a couple yards shy of the red zone here at the 22-yard line. 7 yards, the pickup on the pitch and catch. They like going to him in the slot. He catches another one.
I think this comes under the heading of until they stop him, why not go back to it? He has something going really well. Great working relationship with the guy throwing the ball, and they keep making the connection.
They pitch it out to Cook. And they'll bring him down at the 18-yard line. But just 4 yards on the pickup, but that's good enough to extend the drive.
Ordinarily in short yardage, most people don't run a toss because it takes a little bit longer to develop. But some teams see it as a very physical type run because the amount of people that get out in front of the runner, offensive linemen, tight ends, sometimes an extra back, they like to run that play there and try and run over people.
They run again on 1st down. Cook able to fight for about 4 yards there to the 13.
And that's one of the reasons you like to blitz even on rundowns. It confuses the blocking assignments. It doesn't allow those offensive linemen to get up to the second level.
No. Check. Patriot.
And they'll run it here. So a nice job to break the one tackle, but not much daylight after that as he's brought down. 2 yards the gain there, and now they're left with a third and about 4 for a first.
I know the scouting report on him is that he doesn't possess the eye discipline to be an elite linebacker, and what that means is his ability to read, react, and make a play. But on that one, he looked like one of those guys.
From the gun on third down, Fowler. 2 minutes remain here in the first half. And incomplete. The contact made the ball roam free and brings up fourth down. And we remind you, coming up at the half, we'll join who, Charles?
The coach.
The coach, Jonathan Coachman, standing by in Orlando. He'll have stats and scores from games in progress, as well as scores from earlier today.
Coach.
Sorry, we get slap happy up here sometimes. A dozen plays on that drive that ends with the field goal.
Let's go ahead and break out some of the old chestnuts here, right, partner? Keep the ball in front, rally to it, and make the tackle, right? No big plays given up, no balls over your head. Bend, don't break.
Hold on. Chestnuts?
You like
Come
that
on.
one?
What does that mean, break out? Just because you break chestnuts?
I'm not sure about that, but I'm just going with why they said that. I have no idea.
A first down throw here for Rivers. So a loss of 5, and it'll be second down. The Broncos in their hurry up, try to get to their positions and get set quickly. Rivers now on second down. Toward the right sideline, but it's incomplete.
It's been my observation there's been a nice variety of play calling defensively. You and I often talk about an offense's ability to keep a defense off balance with what they're doing. I think the converse has been true in this game.
Yeah, I think you're right. They seem to have gone off tendency quite a bit, but only the second quarter, a lot of time to change things. An incomplete pass on that last play, and that means they'll need to come up with something here on third down. And they'll try the ground game here with the running back. And he'll be well short of a first down as he stopped again right at the line of scrimmage. No gain on the play there. A nice job defensively. And it likely forces a punt situation on fourth. So the defense had a chance to catch their breath, and now they're back out and ready. Here's Marquette King now as the drive goes backwards, so he's on to punt it away. Pulled in at the 24. A big kick that time, 52 yards. And the Vikings will take over here first and 10. And you see Dalvin Cook and the offense heading back out. He's over 40 yards here in the second quarter. Been nice and effective for them, hasn't he?
He has definitely been dependable and really shouldn't underestimate what he's getting done here, because anytime you're on a pace that's going to approach 100 yards, you've really done some damage in an NFL game.
And now he's looking just to add to his totals. Oh, he's able to outmuscle him here as he pulls it in. A very nice pickup of 33 yards.
That's a big-time pitch and catch right there. And, partner, I remember the days when quarterbacks would try this. They were holding their breath. But nowadays, they're counting on their receiver to be just a little bit better than the defensive back when it's one-on-one and the ball's in the air like that.
On first and 10, Fowler, nowhere to go here. He lost the football.
On plays like this where the ball comes free, it's often unusual for the team that lost it to get it back, because this is the quarterback. The ball gets away from him. Everyone else is trying to execute what they're supposed to do on offense. They're usually looking in the other direction, downfield, or have moved away from him. In this case, though, a teammate is able to come up with the ball.
A very nice pickup of 33 yards. And the young buck showing that ability, that agility to dance outside of the pocket, complete the deep ball.
And don't think for a second that the coaching staff didn't have their heart rate accelerate a little bit there, right? Anytime you have those young quarterbacks and they get outside of the pocket, you're just hoping that they make good decisions, because so many things can happen that can go wrong when you throw it downfield like that. He got away with it there and in a big way.
Gone!
Inside the red zone here, they'll look to throw. He's got his man. It's taken in for a Viking touchdown. Dante Pettis, his first touchdown on the year. And the Vikings find a way to stretch their lead. And that'll give them a 2-score lead here, but I'm looking ahead. They just want to hold it for the final moments here in the second quarter. They don't want to give up anything on the other side.
No, not at all, because if they don't, it almost had the feel of an imposing their will score. And right now, they want to make sure they keep that and carry it into the second half.
Carlson now to kick this one away. Here's Emmanuel Sanders now as he and the rest of the offense march back onto the field. He's been good so far to this point in the second quarter. Need to get him even more involved, maybe?
I would agree with that. Definitely. Yeah, it's not even a question for me. The way he's playing, he's doing a nice job. Increase things. More touches, more opportunities. Maybe that can reverse things on the scoreboard for them.
They'll try to ratchet things up then maybe here in the second quarter.
False start, offense.
And that'll be accepted, of course, and that moves them back 5.
Still first down.
The false start backs them up 5, 1st and 15.
Ready, 380.
To throw, Rivers. Under a heavy rush, and down he goes. Daniil Hunter in there to drop him for his 11th sack of the year.
Brandon, if I'm an offensive coordinator and I see an all-out rush like that, I file it away because I'm going to use their aggressiveness against them as this game goes on. I'm going to hit them with a screen soon.
Now then, after the sack, it'll be interesting to see what they have planned for 2nd and 23. They'll run it now out of the gun. So we hit halftime with our visitors, the Vikings, taking the lead to the locker room as we send you on out to our studios. And okay, so much for our halftime. Time break. Apparently we're going to get right back to it. The Vikings have to like their position. They've got the lead. They get this football as well as we are back and underway for the second half. This will be taken to the back of the end zone. And terrific field position here as they finally get him just shy of the midfield stripe.
Any return that gets you to midfield is a great return. 1 first down, and you're almost in field goal position.
And getting our first update now from Nashville. And the Jags, they're out to an early lead there. I would definitely imagine we'll hear more from that game as we go along. Starting the third quarter with Cook. And he's got it across midfield and into Denver territory. 3 yards on the pickup there, and it'll be 2nd down.
Third quarter, and you've got the lead. You're not ready to go into that 4-minute offense to close the game out. But a running game can really benefit your team right now.
Again, it's Cook. And able to push his way forward here for a good little gain. 6 yards on the pickup, and that'll bring up a 3rd and 1.
They're trying to show that they can run the ball and protect this lead. Give it to the backs, play a little bit of keep away, don't you think?
And that's probably a good philosophy at this point, going to make that defense stand up and stop them. This is 3rd and 1, very likely 4-down territory even if they don't get it there. A toss to Cook. He lost a big chunk, 6 yards there, and it leads to 4th down.
I like the strategy. Extra tight ends, extra beef. They want to run the football, but that means they probably want to run it inside. If you get strung out on the perimeter, you're in peril.
Yeah, we saw the result, negative yardage. And just a single punt for him in the loss last week as he sends this one away. And a nice special teams job here. This is going to be down inside the 10 at the 7-yard line. So now a look at the Broncos as they head back out there for their first possession of the second half. They were able to get the stop defensively. Now a chance really to set the tone here in quarter 3.
They can really take charge, can't they? And this is probably how it was drawn up at the half. I think we can go inside the locker room, all right? And I think we would see up on the grease boards, stop them defensively, get the ball back for the offense, and let's go downfield and score. Seems simple, right? The last part, we have to find out if that's going to happen. But the first part worked to perfection. Did exactly what they wanted, and now their offense has to pay it off.
See if they can get the latter 50%.
390.
And on the ground they go with a running back. And he'll get it up here this time to the 21. They get 5 out of that one, and it moves the chains.
Well, they still have time to get him established, but in my estimation, they've got to pick up the urgency here. They've got to get quickly in and out of the huddle and run off a bunch more plays.
Set. 380.
Rivers now to throw on first down. Rush coming, and he's taken down. Anthony Barr. Not dropping into coverage. He comes on the blitz and takes him down for a loss of 9. Man, he got in there so quickly, Charles. What could the offense have done to adjust and account for that?
But what you're hoping is that you figure out and you see and get a clue that maybe there's going to be some pressure coming at you, and you change the blocking schemes. Maybe you go to max protection. The biggest one is maybe you bring your running back in to try and keep you clean. But in that case, that didn't happen. Zero accountability, and a sack resulted.
Sanders has it over the middle. And a nice little quick spin move before he's dropped. And a pretty good gain. And they'll get 9 there as that sets them up better for third down.
When you see zone defense and you know you've got a drag route on as your primary call, you've got to be really careful as a passer about how far you let your guy go because he might wander into some tough coverage.
Ready.
On third down, Rivers finding his safety valve here. That's complete. That one good for 13 and a Denver first down.
And we see another pitch and catch there to the running back. This position just continues to evolve. They become just as critical to the passing attack as a lot of receivers, tight ends, because their ability to make people miss in the open field can really generate big plays for an offense.
And this defense not giving him anything there. Maybe a yard up to the 36. Now, they struggled to get him rolling on the ground in the first half, and that's sort of continuing here in the third quarter.
Yeah, but I don't think it's time to abandon the running game. I would say keep feeding the horse, and I believe he'll eventually reward them, especially as we get deeper in the game.
Set. 180. And hot.
And they'll go ground game here with a tailback. And he'll take this one for about 4 up to the 40.
Sometimes with the running game, you've just got to stick with it. Look, it's the third quarter, no time to panic. But that also doesn't mean you just do it the same way you've been doing it the entire ball game. Maybe you change up some blocking assignments or run a few different plays, but stay with the overall essence of the running game.
Rivers from the gun on third down. Caught right side, Gresham. And to the 42-yard line here and brought down there. 2 yards is all they'll get on the completion. It's fourth down.
So much about this game is just understanding situations and then having to execute, isn't it? Guard the first down sticks. Don't let them get there. And they rallied and made the tackle.
And now we move our focus to Stephon Diggs. And now he's inching closer to a 200-yard game. He's been so solid.
And he's really denting the pride of the guys playing defense, too, because there's certain barriers that you just don't want to give up. You never want to give up a 100-yard rusher, a 100-yard receiver. He's closing in on 200 yards. Wow, that's a really big game.
And he'll be corralled right around the 34. First play of the drive going for 14 and a first down.
Now, this is an example of breaking down a defense because on a lot of these runs, he's getting past the point of attack, and guess what he's doing? Forcing the secondary guys to have to make a lot of tackles.
From the 34 now, here's first and 10.
Here we go now. 319. 319.
Right back to him on first down. And he'll get 2, maybe 3 up near the 37.
When we see those runs to the perimeter, when we see those runs to the edge, we think about big breakers, don't we? In this case, it was a modest gain, but it does open up possibilities here on second down.
Handoff comes to Cook. Looking for an opening, not much there. He'll get it to the 39. 3 yards on the pickup. That's going to set up an interesting third and about 4 to go. The Vikings on third down. They've only converted once in 4 tries. This is 3rd and 4. From the gun, Fowler. He's going to flip one out here to his running back. And he'll be taken down, but not before he gets into enemy territory. They give him 12 yards and a first down.
We always talk about having to read defenses and how complicated that is. Well, this was an excellent read. Read the pressure and got rid of the football before it even got to him for a nice game.
And when they're blitzing like that, running back usually a good spot to go with the football?
Without a doubt, because he's right in your sight line or he's near you. So you're able to just get it to him easily. And once he gets in space, that's usually a good matchup for him.
And they'll go with the ground attack here. And that play goes nowhere. Taken down, losing yardage at the 50, right at midfield. It's a loss of a yard there, and now 2nd down.
Yeah, that was the safety that came through and made the play. But there's no doubt in my mind, he hits like a linebacker. And we see a lot of that in today's NFL, don't we?
And that time we do indeed. A big hit for a loss. Eluding the pressure right. Now he'll let it go. It's caught inside the 25. And they'll have it in the red zone before he crosses over out of bounds. That goes for a gain of 31.
In our pregame meeting, all they talked about was keeping him hemmed in and wanting him to make his throws from the pocket because they knew he was pretty dangerous if he got outside, and he just showed it right there. Pretty good arm, too.
So the big play means just like that, they'll operate from the red zone now on 1st down. And as they come to the line, they will not be able to get off another play as time has run out on this 3rd quarter. It's the Vikings in possession of the football and the lead. They'll be looking to add to that total as we begin quarter number 4. Another tote for the workhorse this afternoon. It's Cook. And he'll take this down for about 4 yards, down to the 15. As we get late in this one, is altitude a factor for a visiting team in Denver? Is that something that's overplayed?
No, it's real, and I know a lot of the visiting teams like to downplay it because they don't want to get into the heads of their players, but you can't avoid it. As soon as you get to the locker room, you get to the stadium, they always post it in there. Welcome to Denver. Altitude 5,200.
And he'll get into the end zone. Touchdown, Minnesota. Stephon Diggs with his 2nd touchdown of the game, number 8 on the season. And the Vikings are going to add on to their lead. Extra point by Carlson, up and good. And the decision to just kick the extra point winds up successful. Carlson now to kick this one away. And Denver getting set to take the field. These guys had to punt their last possession, and that's become too familiar of a refrain. Too many of these drives just wound up going nowhere.
Well, you know how in baseball, when the pitcher gets a base hit and he's on base, they bring his jacket out to him to keep him warm? A lot of times the punter goes to the sideline, puts on sweatpants or a wrap over his leg to keep it warm. He might need a massage from the trainer right now from all the work he's getting.
Rivers now. Oh, he dropped it. And that's pretty indicative of the way this one's gone. Another wayward pass. You know, things started out poorly in this game, and to be frank, they just really haven't gotten much better.
And all that does is embolden a secondary. They feel good about what's going on, and they just play better and better.
On 2nd down, Rivers again. And Gresham, the tight end, brings it in. And he's able to get up here to the 26. That catch good for only a yard, and it'll be 3rd down. The Broncos on 3rd down, lacking much success, just 2 for 7 to this point. This is 3rd and 9.
Set, that 180. Set.
Working out of the gun, Rivers. And that is incomplete.
Sometimes it's just not your day. There's another failure right there on 3rd down.
A critical one here if they're going to have any shot at this thing. So they'll go for it on 4th down.
Set 180.
Got to try it here. He's back to throw. The Vikings after him, and they get there for the sack. Danielle Hunter in there to get him, and that's sack number 12 for him on the year. Well, at this stage of the game in the second half, down 3 scores, I guess they felt like they needed to push.
And let's face it, with this deficit, if they give up another score here after they didn't get it, does it really matter?
Right.
It really doesn't. They had to go and try and make something happen if they had any chance of winning this game.
And his throw here is incomplete.
Well, this at least is the right idea. I think they've got to get the tight end more involved.
He had just 1 target in the first half, incomplete. Now incomplete here with the first target of the second half.
Yeah, should not stop them at all from going back to him, though. Find him. Find him.
All right, here we go. Boom, landed.
A give. This is Cook. And he tried to bounce it outside, but they'll stop him behind the line. They'll lose a yard, and it brings up third.
The short field shrinks even more with the type of bodies they brought in on that play. Those extra tight ends, they weren't able to secure their blocks, and that one ended up going backwards.
The chance of wasting this great starting field position, a real threat. This is 3rd and long. On 3rd down, Fowler. Stocker's got it, complete. And he's brought down just outside of the 10 at the 11. It'll be a gain of 8, but it'll also lead to a 4th down. Daniel Carlson now for the Viking field goal. The kick by Carlson is good. And that will extend the lead out to 24. So it's 3 more points, and that widens this thing out even further here in the 4th.
And you know in this league, you can never have enough points, but this widens it out, as you said, and now it's all about ball control, isn't it?
And to no one's surprise here in Denver, that'll carry through the back of the end zone for a touchback. And Denver getting set to take the field. And on that last drive, went for it on 4th, turned it over. A good job by their defense, though. They held them to 3, but this offense, they've got to be a little bit better, a little bit more careful here.
And sometimes when you see these calls on 4th down, when they decide to go for it, it's not necessarily the coach saying, I believe in my offense. Sometimes the coach saying, I believe in my defense. I can afford to go for it here, because if we don't get it, I don't think we'll give up more than 3. And that's exactly what happened there.
You think that factored in?
I do. I think that he had that in his mind going into the game, that I'm going to be aggressive on offense because I know I've got a defense that can hold up their end.
And the hit jarred it loose. It's incomplete.
They went with a dime look on defense. 2 extra defensive backs on the field and covered up essentially every blade of grass. That allowed them to disrupt the play.
The Broncos on 3rd down. They've struggled to the tune of 2 for 8 so far. This time it's 3rd and 3. Now contact up front as penalty markers come in. Who is this against?
Neutral zone infraction, defense.
A little antsy on the left side of the line.
Yeah, I think they got the guy in the end. I think they got the DN there on that one. And let's face it, he is so amped up, wanting to get a good get off on the snap, jump too quickly.
1st down, Rivers. Oh, he dropped it. And that's pretty indicative of the way this one's gone. We have not seen a whole lot of wide-open receivers. Everything seemingly has been contested.
And that's another nice job there to force an incompletion. They've been very cohesive, knowing each other's moves all game long, and they've been on the spot just about every time.
And they've held them in check on the scoreboard.
Encroachment, defense.
So a jump there defensively.
And it's a killer. Watch the football. Don't move across the line of scrimmage until the ball moves.
So the penalty certainly helps them out as they come up on 2nd and 5. Again, it's Rivers. And a big loss here as he's taken down. Danielle Hunter in there to get him, and that's sack number 12 for him on the year.
We've been around this league for a while, and many coaches never pull their starting quarterback, almost no matter the situation. In this case, though, I think he's got to make a decision. He's taking a pretty good beating out there.
Yeah, and with the deficit, maybe not wanting to risk an injury. Now flags will come in. I think this one's going to be on the defense for jumping.
Neutral zone infraction, defense.
A free 5 yards as the defense jumps.
I know it's an anticipation game for them, but it's also a reaction game, and they reacted poorly on that one.
And the penalty helps, but not a whole lot. It's still 3rd and long. They'll run it now out of the gun. And he'll get this only up to about the 35. Call it a gain of 3, and it'll bring up 4th down. And the trend continues here in the 4th like it was in the 1st, 2nd, and 3rd. He's had nowhere to run.
And you're probably thinking to yourself, why do they keep feeding him the football? Well, they trust him first and foremost. They do believe that over time he might actually pop one of these runs. But bottom line is he takes care of the ball well for them, so they'll keep handing it to him.
Looking for Sanders, and it's intercepted. Picked up by the former first-rounder Trey Waynes. And it's a tremendous return as they finally get him at about the 10-yard line.
Well, this defensive pressure has been constant all game long. The pass rush, the coverage, they've all been excellent, and now they'll tack on an interception here as this one continues to slip just further and further out of hand.
They'll run with Cook. It'll be a pickup of 10 yards, and that'll bring up a 2nd and goal. That's what they wanted out of that first down play. Run it down there. Now they're knocking on the door.
The only thing that would have been better was getting it in, and now they can do whatever they want because they've got confidence on their side. Line up quickly and go, or savor it a little bit, but I run right back at them.
Watch you now, Barney!
They'll run for it with Cook. And he'll take this into the end zone. Now, hold on here. We do have a flag down. So let's see what this is about.
Holding offense.
So reverse the celebration. We'll see if they have something else in their bag of tricks.
And isn't that always tough to watch when they score and you see the excitement and then when they realize those points aren't going to count? Can they get it back together and find their way back to the end zone?
They try again with Cook. And he stopped immediately there. After the play, not a good sign. Dalvin Cook staying on the ground. We'll step aside and get a report when we come back to Denver. The chance of wasting this great starting field position, a real threat. This is 3rd and long. On 3rd down. That's Douglas. And here he'll get it down to the 7. A good job there defensively to stop him for a gain of just 4, and that'll bring up 4th and goal.
This drive started with 1st and goal. Now that it's 4th and goal, anything less than a touchdown would feel like a letdown to me.
So he splits the uprights, and has to be a nice feeling. Right when it left his foot, knew it was good.
Yeah, just like a good three-point shooter in basketball, right? Release the ball, fall back on defense without even looking. You know it's going in the hoop.
After the made field goal, Carlson now sets up to kick this away. And that'll carry over the back line of the end zone for a touchback. Phillip Rivers now gears up to take the offense back out there. And that interception that ended their previous drive likely also ended any shot they had at victory.
Yeah, long road back from here, no doubt about that one. But let's face it, if you're going to go out there and compete, you want to try and end on a strong note, don't you?
Absolutely. It won't end in a victory like you said, but they can maybe take something positive out of this one. And that'll set them back 5. The full start backs him up 5. 1st and 15. Operating from the gun. Rivers. Now he'll dump it underneath to his running back. Complete. And they'll bring him down at the 27-yard line. 7 yards on the play. And it's a 2nd down. You got the big lead defensively. willing to give him that underneath stuff, right?
And this is why you work on your tackling. Tackle him after the catch, inbounds, keep the clock running. Just go ahead and bleed the game out that way.
They try to throw on second down, but this one is incomplete. He started out having some troubles back in the first half connecting with his receivers. Really hasn't gotten a whole lot better.
Yeah, he's at less than 50%, and you and I both know that just won't do. So I would think about spreading things out, putting it on the receivers, make them win those one-on-one battles on the perimeter, and find their way open.
Here's Rivers throwing for his running back, and he's got him complete. And he gets this up to the 34 out of bounds there. Give him 7 on the play, and that'll bring up 4th down.
A short game that doesn't get them the first down brings up a 4th down situation.
Really nice job defensively. They knew where the sticks were. They got the stop before it. And when it's said and done, it's a 58-yard punt. And the Vikings will be backed up deep to begin their drive as they take over 1st and 10. The Vikings offense now heading out to take over. We've got a lopsided game here. I don't know, Charles, what does the handbook say that we discuss when we've got a game like this in the 4th quarter?
Hold on a second. Let me thumb to the proper page on that. Know what it says?
What?
Let's discuss how we got here. This is a dominant performance, where they took control of this game, how they've managed to keep control of this game, and then we go ahead and think about how we're going to leave here and get to the airport. In a lopsided blowout, the roads are usually open.
Right off the bat, it's a 1st down to start the drive, 12 yards.
Do my eyes deceive me, or is he getting stronger as this game moves along?
Burst seems just as good here in the 4th as it was way back in the 1st, doesn't it?
I do believe someone put a lot of time in the offseason and continues to condition during the season.
Cook strip, the ball's out. It's picked up by the Broncos. So they will set up shop. Excellent field position in the red zone at the 19-yard line. Not the trend he wanted to start the season with a fumble lost in both weeks 1 and 2. Now, it's not a disaster, but certainly not what he was looking for.
Got to get that fixed because otherwise he shows up on every scouting report. I remember sitting in defensive rooms and hearing this.
And a big loss here as he's taken down. Time for a break. Back to finish it off on EA Sports after this. So it's Bronco football as we get you reset here. And let's see what they've come up with offensively after having time to talk it over. Now a 2nd down throw for Rivers. And Gresham's got it over the middle. And he'll get him inside the 15 down to the 14-yard line. It's a pickup of 12, and that'll set up a 3rd down. From the gun on 3rd down, Rivers. Now a hit, and Rivers lost the football. So they escape, so to speak, maintaining the football. Defensively, though, opportunity miss.
It definitely was, because that's all defenses talk about. Getting the football and either advancing it the other way or just getting possession and turning it over to their offense. That can be a little bit deflating. You're exactly right. A lost opportunity.
And he's not able to get away. He is stopped well short of a 1st down. They had to go for it with such little time remaining, and the Vikings defense is going to get the football back. So they tried to go for it for pride, but it really wouldn't have mattered. This one, it was already determined.
No doubt about it. This one was over a while ago.
They start the drive with Cook, and he is met in his tracks behind the line of scrimmage. A loss of a full 3 yards, and now it's 2nd down.
So, Brandon, when this offense gathers together to watch tape for this game, they're going to be feeling pretty good about themselves until the coaches get upset about the play we just saw. But you know their defense is going to be. But we put up big points all game long. The defense is going to win one every now and then.
They run it again with Cook. And a short gain across the 15 to the 17-yard line. And Justin Coleman brings him down.
That's it. That's what you want. Straight ahead positive gain. Just keep that clock ticking.
The Vikings on 3rd down, lacking much success, just 2 for 7 to this point. This is 3rd and 10. Cook on the toss left. And he'll take this up only to about his 18-yard line. Just a 1-yard pickup there, and it'll be 4th down.
So where'd all that running room that he had in the first half go? Because it looks like it's drying up a little bit here. Someone made some adjustments, it appears, at least on this drive.
His first punt, 45 yards. This looks good as well. But fortunately, he's able to recover his own fumble, and that could have been trouble.
I know there's no magnet in the ball, but sometimes for the punt returner, after such a scramble, it sort of feels that way, doesn't it? He has it, he loses it, somehow the ball finds its way back to him.
Atone for his sin, and you know he's taking a deep sigh of relief right now. And that will be incomplete, as time has run out on this football game. Well, Charles, it's great to win at home in the NFL. When you win on the road, it's a little extra special, isn't it?
It is, because, let's face it, in most cases, you're not expected to go on the road and win in the National Football League. It just doesn't usually compute. So to get out there, get that done, and then head back to your city with one in the victory column, oh, that's a fantastic feeling.
So for the Vikings, they continue to put themselves in position for a first-round bye as they move to 8-2. And they'll have another road date next week with the New York Giants. Meanwhile, for the Broncos, they're going the wrong way, as this will drop them to 3-7 now on the year. And they will try to turn it around next week as they head down to Carson for a matchup with the LA Chargers. So for our entire crew, alongside Charles Davis, I'm Brandon Gaudin. Thanks for watching, everybody. We'll see you next time.
Come in. Sounds like I got seats in there. Hey, I'm on your turf again. This, that, you from the back of the. I got a girl, Brad. She go to battle. LAD load the tag. I go in back of the. They all from that. My diamonds, they all look at. This, that. I go to bet on bet. I got the demon on flat. I got a in the back. Haters, they